Hello, family. How y'all doing today? Listen, do me a favor. You know what to do. Pull up, go ahead on and pull up a chair. All right, get whatever you need to get and join me today for this lunch hour because I want to tell you today, lunch is on me. All right, do me the favor if you can. Share if you can. Do me a favor, help me set the table today. I want you to go ahead on and invite somebody that will invite somebody to join us here on Wednesday for lunch on me. Somebody get active in the chat and go ahead on and put that down now. Listen, lunch is on me, all right? So I just want to take the time to see who's at the table, all right? I believe I see my wife, all right? The lady, Jessica Beard, how you doing? From Dallas, all right? I see Nikki Hawk, what's going on? Tell Sam we said what's up. Also, I see Rosie Gibson, all right? While you are coming on, do me a favor. I see Quita in Louisiana. How you doing? Can't wait to see y'all in a few days, all right? So not just whenever you're coming on, also, do me a favor, tell us where you are coming on from, all right? What's your neighborhood? What's your city? What's your state? Listen, do me a favor and rep your city, all right? While you are doing that, I want to let you know, for those that don't, that Lunch on Me exists to create great midday conversation for purpose-driven people, and I'm excited about you. I'm excited about your purpose, and I'm excited about what God's going to do today amongst all of us. This is not a preaching platform. I didn't come on here to preach to nobody, but I just came on here to have a conversation with you all, just to see where you are, and preferably we provide clarity for those that need it on the day. Okay, I see Gulfport, Mississippi is in the building. Picayune, Mississippi is in the building. How y'all doing? Keep on shouting out your city, all right? While you are coming on, I just want to remind you that I'll be here on this platform Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I want to tell y'all that everybody that joins me and hangs on in here for the conversation, Lunch on Me will be feeding you food for thought. But not only that, I'll be gifting a person or persons who get active in the chat. Guess what? By the end of this stream, I want to tell you, I'm going to be gifting you lunch on me. We gifted an individual I came to understand from Macon, Georgia. He received his gift, and I'm just thankful just to be a blessing to those that's joining me. And I believe that God is going to do great and mighty things amongst us. And so I want to take this time and share this platform with you. All right. Somebody's from Petal. Somebody's from Long Beach. All right. Hey, I see you. Long Beach is in the house today. And so I like to get started. Some people call them icebreakers, but because this is a platform that provides clarity, I want to call them clarity questions, all right? This is an opportunity to get active in the chat today, and I want to ask this clarity question. I want to ask today the clarity question by saying this. Sometimes God don't always call the qualified. I believe he does, but sometimes God don't always call the qualified. I believe that I'm a living witness that he qualifies the called. All right, so today's clarity question is this. Have you ever felt like God was calling you to do something? Have you ever felt as if God was calling you to do something? And if your answer is yes, what is it? For clarity, sometimes we need to be reminded of that which God is doing with us. I'll take a moment and give you an opportunity to answer that question. Is there anybody that's joining me in the chat for Lunch on Me? Is there anybody out there that ever felt like God was calling you to do something? And if your answer is yes, what is it that God had called you to do? All right, I'm waiting on you. I want to see your answers on today. If God ever called you to do something, what is it? Anybody in here ever been burdened by a call? Yeah. This is Lunch on Me. I'm talking to purpose-driven people who, beyond shadow of doubt, believe and have an understanding that you was not just born to die. But I told you that somebody on here, everybody on here, I believe, God is going to make your dash count. All right. What is it that God had called you to do? All right. What is it that God have called you to do? I'm waiting on you. Nooney says that God was calling me to reach out to his children and to come to church. All right. Nooney, guess what you sound like? You sound like an evangelist, all right? So guess what? That is wonderful to have an understanding and be drawn to the ministry of evangelism. Evangelism, as we know it, is the arms of the body of Christ. It reaches beyond the pastor and beyond the four walls of the church, and it compels men to come, okay? Nooney says she was called to evangelism. Okay, I see you. Okay. Aubrey Knox says she's called to store and grow food for hard times to come. All right. Come on with it. Sounds as if that the Joseph anointing is upon you. All right. She's called to store food. All right. Billy Waller says, yes, he was called to preach the word of God. All right. Thank y'all for being active in the chat on today. That's right. I'm grateful for all of you all that has answered the call. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I don't want to ask you to do something that I'm not prepared to do as well. This is a clarity platform. Also, this is a space for us to get to know one another. And one of the things that I want to do is make certain that while we're on here, that I am transparent with you all as it relates to different areas and things of my life, because I believe that in our transparency, God can use clarity and bring clarity in that as well. And in this season of my life, I believe that I'm called to father. All right, yes, that's what I believe as it relates to me. I am called to father. I hadn't always felt like that, and I'm just going to be honest with you. And I'm not just talking about called to father. My biological children, in which I love so much, God gave me 3 beautiful girls, and I'm grateful that God had called me to be their dad. All right, I think I wear it with a badge of honor. My heart, my God, is in several places. I have 3 little girls, and I'm grateful that God have loaned them to me. But not only do I feel that I am called to father my biological children, I feel that in this time that I'm being called to father spiritual children as well. And a great part of my calling in this season is to raise, to rear, and equip a generation that will carry the kingdom torch, all right, and apostolic weight, not just in the present, but also into the future. And so because I understand that, I am being very intentional with the time that I have. I told somebody that if you waste money, okay, that may be all right. If you waste some milk, spill Kool-Aid on the floor, that might be all right. Maybe you can get one of them Swiffer jets and get it up. But the one thing that we cannot afford to waste in this season is time, all right? I told you can work real hard and always have an understanding of how much money you got in your bank account. But nobody, my God, knows how much time we have left. I told you can have a watch on the refrigerator, and they come on there now. You can have a watch in your vehicle. You can own a watch collection and still not own time. So with the time that God have afforded unto us, I believe that we should be a people to live it out through purpose. I don't know who I'm talking about, but somebody on here feels as if that you've already wasted enough time. Now, everything that I have now as it relates to time, I'm going to be extremely intentional about how I invest my time. All right. You ought to be intentional as well. All right. I want to ask another question. And I want y'all to come on in the chat. I told you this is a conversational platform. And the question that I want to ask you all today is there anybody under the sound of my voice ever felt the weight of a calling? Yeah, is there anybody on the live in the chat that ever has felt the weight of a calling? My God, anybody ever felt a weight of a calling? You're minding your own business. My God, Aubrey Knox says it's me, living your own life. But God doesn't let you, he lets you go to bed, but he don't let you get no rest because, my God, is it anybody ever felt like somebody was calling me? All right. And the call in which you felt brought weight upon you, my God, it caused you to feel uncomfortable. Anybody ever felt the weight of a calling and at times you felt like it was too heavy? Can I be completely transparent and honest with you? I've been in that place where I've said God yes in a season and got comfortable with my yes, only to sit in my yes for a period of time, and God challenged me to go even further. Okay, I gave you a yes in this season. My God, Sarah Bonds, I see you. I gave you a yes in this season and managed to get comfortable with my yes, and then God asked me for another one. Have anybody ever been in that position? Have anybody ever felt as if what God called you to do was too heavy for you? All right. I'm going to tell you, we're going to get into this conversation. Josh Merritt said, man, you speaking to me. I'm going through it right now. When God completely disrupts your comfort zone to give you an assignment to fulfill that possibly only you can do. All right. Listen, anybody ever felt like it was too heavy? I've felt like that before. But guess what I want to tell you as it relates to calling? Guess what I want to tell you as it relates to calling, Sister Wendy Stokes? Sometimes you got to get to the point in your life where you stop asking, why is it heavy? And start asking, why is it mine? My God, I'm on here to help somebody. That's what I believe. I believe I'm not on here for nothing. I believe I'm on here to help somebody. At some point, we've got to get to the place and the point to where we stop asking, why is it heavy? And start asking, why is it mine? All right? I'm getting ready to get into the main conversation. Listen, I see my family on here. Rokaya, what's up, girl? I love you. Can't wait to see y'all. Listen, if I got to get on the plane or train, hey, I'm coming. I was thinking about all of y'all this morning, all right? So listen, the main conversation and the meat of the meal today is this. I have a question. Are you ready I need a drum roll for this question because I got a question and it is very important, all right? And I want to ask some advice through this question. And the question is this: what do you do when your calling keeps calling you? My God, I want to give somebody a moment with that because I want to deal with it. I want to deal with it. Man, all I'm trying to do is be a regular individual. All I'm trying to do is X, Y, Z. But God keeps on confronting me with a call. Yeah. What do you do? I want somebody to put that in the chat today. What do you do when your calling keeps on calling you? My God, I feel this today. And I want to tell you something. Here's what I've learned, and we're talking about callings today, all right? Last week we dealt with your airborne identity. This week I want to deal with callings because sometimes we don't know where to place them. Sometimes we don't know what to do with them. Sometimes we're trying to put it on the shelf. Sometimes we're trying to give them away. But I want to let you know that you are an individual. If God thought enough of you to call you to something, I come to tell you, I was going to wait till later, but I feel the need to give it to you right now. If you've ever been burdened with something in the likes of a calling, I come to tell you the greater the weight, the greater the impact. The reason why this thing is heavy is because this thing is getting ready to impact not just your world, but worlds around you. And those of you that has been carrying weight, I come to tell you that if God called you to it, he's going to equip you for it. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I want to help somebody who know beyond a shadow of God, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I've been called to do something, but I don't know what to do with it. All right. What do you do when you're calling? My God, Oxford is in the building, all right? Keeps on calling you. I want to help you with that. But here's what I've learned about callings. Callings will often cost you comfort. And that's why we don't always want to pick up the phone, because it makes us uncomfortable, all right? It would also disrupt what you feel safe. It will disrupt your safety zone. It will disrupt, come on somebody, I finally got to a place where I feel safe. Now God is calling me in this season to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Have anybody ever been there? Yeah, a calling is so weighty at times, it will challenge what's familiar. All right. And sometimes in order to operate in your calling, you got to come away from familiar places. And sometimes that's scary. And that's the very reason why we take the calling and try to hide it under the ground. Can I tell you something? I've been the one. I don't know if nobody else is going to tell the truth, but I testify on all our behalves. I've been the one, my God, running from something that God called me to do. What do you do when your calling just keeps on calling you? All right? Calling is not convenient. I want to tell you that it stretches you, but you've got to let God do it. All right? Not only does a calling stretches you, a calling matures you. All right? I told you that God don't always call the qualified. I'm going to lift my hands and tell you that I'm a living witness that he qualifies the call. All right? I'm going somewhere. I got a testimony I want to share. Christy Corbett, how you doing? I got a testimony that I want to share with somebody in just a few. But I want to tell you this. The calling also processes you while you're on the way. Yeah, God at times, though he called you to something great, I want to tell you that you don't always arrive to the start line, Sister DeShanning, finished. Sometimes what God will do is form you while you're moving toward what he called you into, and we've got to allow God to do his best work with us. Do you hear me? I told God, I ain't gonna get there, but I'm gonna get there after a while. But I remember telling God, God told me to do something. I said, surely you got the wrong guy. Have anybody ever been like me? Come on, Chanel Edwards, have anybody ever been like me? Renee Bradley, that God called you to do something, and because of the magnitude of what God called you to do, you tried to tell God to find somebody else. That was me in a season. But God is helping us today. My God, you don't always arrive to the start line finish. Sometimes God will form you while you're moving toward the calling that he called you into. And I want to tell somebody that you can't run from it. Man, I really want to help somebody get clarity today. I want to tell you that when God have called you to do something, you can do everything you want to do to delay it, but you can't deny it. And so I want to tell you, you can change environments. I want to testify, y'all, but y'all don't want me to. I'm going to testify. I moved away from Mississippi and told myself I wasn't never coming back. I changed environments. But God called me to a people. He called me to a place. He called me to a purpose. And the purpose in which God called me to, the location, I'm testifying for somebody, but the purpose in which God have called me to, Brother LD, though I was living in Birmingham, Alabama, my God, he was calling me back to Mississippi. I changed my environment. Do you hear me what I'm saying? To a degree, trying to escape the call. Have anybody ever been a runner? Have anybody ever been a track star? I want to tell you, I've been that. You can change your environment, but just because you change your environment don't mean the calling changed. I'm just trying to see who I'm on here for today. All right? You can change your environment. I want to tell you, you can change your clothes. I want to tell you, you can change your pace. But when God calls you to do something or assigns something for you to do, that calling will keep on calling until you answer the phone. I'm talking to the call today. Yeah, we can't run from it. You hear me? I want to tell you, just because assignment, just because you avoid assignment, that ain't gonna make it disappear. Hey, my God, I feel good today. You can do all you can do to avoid the assignment that God is calling you into. That's not gonna make it disappear. All right. Somebody in here that's at the lunch table today is gonna make a great conscious decision that I'm gonna stop running from the call and I'm gonna submit to it. Thank you, Aubrey Knox says, I hear you. My cousin Roro says, my God. Do you hear me? Brother LD says, my God. Lakina Tisdale says, eventually you got to answer the phone. All right? Here it is. I'm always going to guarantee at Lunch on Me a transparent moment. There was a season in my life, y'all, I ran from the call. I thought if I changed my direction, I thought if I shifted lanes, that God was going to eventually gift it to somebody else. Do you hear me? And I was preaching, but I was still running. Y'all ain't gonna help me. I was running revival, but I was yet in revival running from God. Y'all ain't gonna help me. God showed me something in 2016, and I'll share this testimony. Those of you that know me really well, I'm not necessarily an extrovert. Fact about it, if I could hide, I'd always stay hidden. Hidden, that's me. I've been, for the most part of my life, an extrovert all of my life. Even this Lunch on Me is a little different for me, okay? But I feel like God was calling me not just to work in my contract. I do contract work. but God was calling me to be more visible in this season, because God told me there's somebody that needs to hear the vibrations of your voice. So even this is a little different for me. But guess what I did, y'all? I want to be a living example. I answer even the call to y'all. Do you hear me? All right. So God showed me something 15 years ago. And the magnitude of what it was that God showed me, I felt like I wasn't qualified for it. And some of y'all are there right now. And instead of being ambitious as it relates to what God was calling me to, I was reminding God, hey, why would you call me to do something that big? I come from a small place. Why would you call me to do something that great, my God, when I feel as if certain areas of my life, I feel inadequate to be able to fulfill such a call? And because I did not have clarity, and because I did not understand the magnitude of what God wanted to do with me, I ran. Not only did I run revival, for certain doors in my life, I was running from God. I didn't want to run into that door. I felt like Isaiah. Do you hear me? God called Isaiah to do something great. And he sent a company and a host of angels to Isaiah to affirm that God was calling him to do something. Can I tell you something? That was in the 6th chapter of Isaiah. Isaiah was already operating as a prophet, my God, in the 6th chapter of his own book. But even as a prophet, he told God, you got the wrong one. He said, man, I can't do what you calling me to do. And the reason why I can't do what you call me to do, Isaiah had a good excuse like some of us. Isaiah says, I am a man of unclean lips. He says, I'm a prophet with unclean lips. In other words, he was saying, hey, your heart and your heart and your lips are intertwined together. If you study and do your research, the Bible says, in fact, about it, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So in other words, what Isaiah was saying, what you calling me to do, my heart ain't even prepared for it. Y'all don't want to help me in here today while I'm helping you. He says, man, I'm an individual that's got a heart condition. Surely you ain't calling me to do that. All right? Do you hear me? He said, in fact about it, whenever you choose somebody else, don't pick nobody from my neighborhood neither. Pass over the whole city. Pass over the whole block. Pass over the whole street. He says, because not only am I a man with unclean lips or a bad heart, I come from bad-hearted people. He says, so listen, look over all of us. Do you hear me? But I told you, when God called you to something great, you can't avoid it. I'm getting ready to help somebody. And so what happened? We understand that the angel messed around, the angel took a coal from the altar and placed it on Isaiah's mouth. He became clean, and God began to use him in a greater, he was already using him, but he began to use him as a greater magnitude after he had been processed. And some of us are being processed as we are going. Do you hear me? So that's what I want to tell somebody, that you can't always escape it. Whenever God called you to do something, listen, you cannot run from it. And I was running from God. Can I tell y'all something? Y'all don't want me to testify. Brother Junior, they don't want me to testify. I gave God a yes already. I'm already uncomfortable. I gave you a yes. Anybody ever ask God, what more do you want from me? My God, I already gave you a yes. Now he's telling me to give him something more. And I struggled with it because I did not understand the magnitude of it is too great. All right. So I want to tell y'all that I ran. Can I tell you for how long? I ran from an assignment that God was calling me into. For 15 years, I was running. I couldn't understand it. God literally had to take me to a different continent to finish a conversation that he started with me 15 years ago, because now it's not the time just to look at it. Now it's the time to walk in it. Now it's the time to walk through the door. God literally had to, my God, take me to a whole nother continent to break the glass jar off of my ministry, because I was comfortable with being in a familiar place. But sometimes God will call you out of your comfort zone as it relates to your calling into something that you're going to show enough have to walk by faith and not by sight in. All right? Guess what I want to tell you? I ran for 15 years from an assignment that God was calling me to, because I felt like it was too great for me. Only to discover when I returned 15 years later that the phone was still ringing. What do you do when your calling keeps on calling you? My God. When you try to run from it, somebody running today. When you try to run from it, guess what the calling did? I ran for 15 years. Guess what that calling did? He says, I'll wait on you. I'm trying to convince God to pick somebody else, and the calling waited for 15 years and said, I'm still here. The phone's still ringing. When you going to pick it up and answer the call? And that's what I want to encourage somebody to do today. Answer the call. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care all of the places that he allow your feet to travel. You will do all of that and still feel unfulfilled until you answer the call. I want to tell you that God is not only calling me into something, to do something great, God is also calling you into something, to do something great. And I want to prophesy to you, to tell you today that fear will not stifle the assignment and the purpose that God have laid over your life. Somebody, just by virtue of hearing this conversation, is getting ready to answer the call. Sometimes God will call you to build. Sometimes God will call you to pour. Sometimes God will call you to prune. So I want to ask you today, what is God calling you to do? Three things you should ask yourself. What am I called to? Because you ain't going to get no sleep until you settle the conflict. Who am I called to? And why am I waiting? I want to land this plane today. What am I called to? Who am I called to? And why am I waiting? I want to encourage somebody today, all right? Bless you, Evangelist Taylor, to answer the call. Yeah, answer the call. And so the question is, what do you do when your calling keeps on calling you? That's the question. The answer is you give God another yes. On the other side of your yes is the greatest level of fulfillment that you have encountered thus far. I want to tell you that feel as if your life is on hold. The other part of your life is on the other side. You are not just your job. You are not just your occupation. You are not just your children's mother. You are not just your children's father. You are a person of purpose. And until we walk into the assignment and the call that God have assigned us to, we'll be just like little Sally Walker, sitting by a saucer. You know the rest, eating her curls and wait, whatever she was eating. Listen, I want to encourage somebody to get up. I want to encourage somebody to wake up. I want to encourage somebody to walk by faith, because God not only called me to do something, he called you too. And some of what you keep feeling, some of you keep feeling tension, not because you're off. Some of y'all keep feeling tension, not because you're off, but because you're called. And when you don't answer the call, it'll cause tension to show up in your life. I come to tell somebody that discomfort don't always mean danger. Sometimes that discomfort is putting you in a place to operate in destiny. I want somebody to put this in the chat. Every now and then, God will call you out of your comfort zone to give you to be able to manage, my God, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Your calling is ringing. And I believe somebody that's listening to me is going to answer that call. Do you hear me? And I want to ask you this question. What keeps ringing in your life? Some of y'all, it's an entrepreneurship opportunity, but you too scared to venture out and obey God. And God's telling me to tell you that the very thing that you're running from, my God, is the gift that God has given, not just to you, but also to your children's children. Yeah, the thing that God is calling you into could be an invention. The thing that God is calling you into may be the power that he has given you to obtain wealth. But if you get to a place to where you're just comfortable, and guess what? We can be literally trying to forfeit a winning season. Do you hear me? So those of us that got that understanding, I want to tell you to answer the call. What do you do when your calling keeps calling you? You muster up enough strength, get enough faith to give God another yes. And even in our calling, we got to be people that are flexible, because what God is calling you into in one season, he may not be calling you into in the next. All right. I want to thank you for sharing your lunch hour with me on today. This has been Lunch on Me. Thank y'all for pulling up a chair. Thank y'all for coming on in. And I want to tell you, I'm going to be right here every Wednesday at 12 p.m. going to be having clarity conversations with those of you all that know that God have called you to a place and a space of purpose. All right. I want to tell y'all, I'm a man of my word. All right. And so I'm going to be gifting somebody lunch today. I'm going to be gifting somebody lunch today. I'm looking for somebody, my God, that I can be a blessing to. I'm looking for somebody I can be a blessing to. So do me a favor right now. Y'all got to hurry up and do it. Do me a favor right now, all right? And put your Cash App in the chat. Put your Cash App in the chat. I'm getting ready to give somebody lunch today. Yeah, I'm getting ready to give somebody lunch today, but I need your Cash App handle going up in the chat even now. I'm looking for your Cash App handles. I'm getting ready to send you something because lunch going to be on me. All right, maybe there's somebody that's on here today that say, you know what, I enjoyed this platform. This is exactly what I needed to hear at my midday lunch hour. And so if you want to be instrumental at sowing into this platform, all right, sowing in to helping feed somebody, sowing in because you've been sold into, I also want to provide that opportunity for those of you that want to sow into this platform and say, man, listen, this has been a great conversation. This is something that I've been dealing with. This is something that I've been recently facing. I've been knowing that I'm called to something, but I've been running. But after hearing this conversation today, I got confidence to walk in the call. If that's you and you want to sow into this platform, I'm giving you that opportunity right now. The ways to give on this platform, into this platform, is on the screen even now. All right, is on the screen even now. Okay, yeah. I'm feeding some folks. All right, I'm feeding somebody. I need to see the cash app now. I need to see the cash app going off. All right, I need to see the cash app handles. All right, I'm looking for you. I don't know who you are, Chanel Edwards, but I want to tell you that lunch today is on me. All right. This is a clarity. This is a platform where God is a God of clarity. All right. So guess what? Chanel Edwards. All right. I'm gifting you lunch. All right. So listen, I need to see your hands if you're excited. Lunch is on me today, Chanel Edwards. And God told me to tell you this while we're here. God told me to tell you, Chanel Edwards, get ready, because he's getting ready to order your path in a different direction, all right? As I'm looking at you in the realm of the spirit, I see you like at a crossroad as it relates to some decisions. If you're not there, you're getting ready to be there in the coming days. When God told me to tell you, Chanel Edwards, that the steps of a good man or a woman is ordered by the Lord. So in this season, God told me to tell you, lean not to your own understanding, but acknowledge God in all of his ways, and he's going to direct your path, all right? God told me to tell you also, Chanel, get ready. I hope I'm saying your name right. Chanel, get ready, okay? Because you've been in a season where you're coming out of a dark season. When God told me to tell you that light is ahead of you, that's why you feel different. In seasons past, you felt like you was restricted, that you can only move so far forward, and then something knocks you back. But God told me to tell you that in this season, in this year of 2026, God told me to tell you he's going to gift unto you divine momentum and divine acceleration. Get ready. This is a prophecy in clarity for you, Chanel, that God is getting ready to take you from what you felt as a confound place, what you felt as a stuck place. God told me to tell you, you're getting ready to move forward. Yeah, I said it before and I say it again. You're getting ready to come from a weeping season into a reaping season. God told me to tell you that one he's giving you for free. All right. So I'm gifting that to Chanel Edwards. You got lunch, you got a word, and God spoke directly to you. My God, this is a great platform that God is moving through. All right. My family is on here. Brittany Smith, what's going on? So receive that. Be blessed today, and I appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm getting ready to get out of here, but I got a few announcements that I want to give to you today. I want to tell somebody that this is a place, this house, DP Nation. I want to invite you to this church. Yeah, that's what I want to do. This family, this community, we always win. We win every day. But I want to tell you that we especially win on Wednesdays, all right? So I want to invite you to WOW. If you're anywhere near the Hattiesburg, Petal, Forest, Lamar, Jones County area, I want to let you know that we're having Bible study tonight. It ain't just a Bible study. It is interactive, all right? It is a community. God have gifted us common unity, and we want to share that with you. And so I want you to know that the doors of the church are open, all right? So join us at 7 p.m. on tonight, and we're going to have great dialogue, and we're going to learn and study together, all right? Next thing I want to tell you is this. We're coming up on a celebratory season. All right, a celebratory season. We're coming upon that. All right, so my wife and I will be celebrating our 13th pastoral anniversary, and I'm excited about it. Listen, y'all need to call everybody to come to this place. We're not just in a season of celebration, but we're also in a season of revival. And I want to tell you that revival ain't coming, it's already here. 319 Old Richton Road. I believe the date is February the 27th through the 28th. I want you to invite somebody that will invite somebody to this place, because I believe that whatever you need, that God's going to meet you beyond the point of your need. It's going down. Do you hear me? My sister, all the way from Natchez, Mississippi, Word of Faith. Listen, Pastor, Dr. Robbie K. Ferd will be here on that Friday night, and it's going to be extra special. Also, my family from Slidell, the citywide choir, under the direction of Prophet Kevin D. Sanders, will be in the house that Friday night. You don't want to miss it. We have some other guests that will be here on that Saturday, and the speaker will be the Chief Apostle, Paul Beard. You can't afford to miss it. Secondhand news, I don't know, but you want to be the person that sees it first, hears it first. God's going to impart something in your life, and so you need to be here to be able to receive what God is doing just for you. All right. Thank y'all for spending y'all's lunch hour with me. Again, I appreciate you. Thank you for being on. God bless you. God bless you. God keep you. That's my prayer. Chanel Edwards, be blessed. That Cash App is on the way. All right. I'm getting out of here, family. But until next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, I want to see your face in the place. I'm Cordaro Durrell Beard, and today this has been Lunch on Me. I'm out, y'all. Appreciate your family. Y'all have a blessed day.